Hello and welcome to Gadget Joe. Today we unbox and take a look at the Eisbecher Pro XT45 by Alphacool. The Eisbecher Pro XT45 is part of the newer products available in the Ice range with improved functionality and also design. So let's get down to business. Opening a box, you are presented with what feels like a premium packaging experience despite lots of bubble wrap and a couple of boxes on either side. The biggest part, of course, is the radiator. As you can see, Alphacool have decided to go for a more rectangular and edgy enclosure for their new range, and it looks really quite smart and modern. Let's take a look at the aesthetics of the unit before we delve into the specs of it all, which we will discuss later on. The casing is made of aluminium, and the unit certainly has a good weight to it. Build quality is fantastic as per usual. The casing is built using premium aluminium on the side end panels and certainly feels very solid. These hold the shape of the unit perfectly. You will notice that the end panels have got screws on them, and this allows the casing to be removed to customise the radiator further. A little more on that shortly. The front and back of the unit is covered in a steel mesh plate that also features the new hex design. And there is no design that this is probably one of the nicest looking radiators on the market thanks to this new design. Underneath this honeycomb grille, you'll notice an ABM, also known as an air breaker mat. This is not actually intended to be a dust filter, which is what it could be seen as, but more an air distribution system. While it will inevitably end up collecting dust, it is purposely made for distributing the airflow across the radiator itself to improve the radiator's performance. This is pretty difficult to remove, so it would be advised to use a canned air or air gun to remove the dust from it to keep it performing well. Moving back to the side of the unit, you will see the Alphacool logo. This is the same on both sides, and this gives an indicator as to what the wire coming from the side is for. These logos actually plug in to a fan header on your board, and then light up with an LED backlight. The LED isn't the brightest, but it certainly adds a distinctive and luxury feel to the unit, especially when in your system. My first concerns were that the logos could end up being positioned upside down when in use. However, that's where Alphacool used their ingenuity and allowed the whole side plates to be rotated around when you remove a casing, which eliminates this issue. What's more is you can actually buy different logo kits in different colours to replace the blue module if you were doing a different coloured build. The connectors for the input and output for the radiator are found on one side of the unit at the top. These are G1/4 inch connectors and are plenty big enough to hold up to 1/2 inch soft tubing connectors, even with the fans in place. You will notice that on the end panel and on the other side, there are more holes that are covered in high density foam pads. These are the cutouts that allow for repositioning of the input and outputs. To do this, you need to use the hex key which is provided to remove the connectors. Remove the outer housing, and then you are left with the XT45 radiator that is inside the unit. To use the alternative side, you would simply rotate the unit and put it back in the case. However, you would have just made the process a little bit easier by simply turning the whole unit upside down and repositioning the LED logos on the side. The real major option would be to have the input-output through the side of the unit. To do this, you would simply remove the stop plugs and place them into the existing open ports. It is worth mentioning at this point, to finish this mod, you will need to purchase a couple of port extenders, but that again is no real issue. The cable provided for the LED logos is braided and is very good quality, and fits nicely along with the quality and finish we have come to expect from Alphacool's new Ice range. Once again, there is nothing stopping you from removing the braided sleeving and replacing for a desired colour of your choice. What's more is that the whole casing of the XT45 Pro can be removed, which means that painting is most definitely an option. So if you wish to have a white unit or a pink, yellow, blue or green radiator, then the options are certainly there. Let's get back to the box and take a look at the boxes provided. These boxes have no text or images on them, so it's a bit of a guessing game as to what's in them. Let's take a look at the larger brown box, and this has the 8mm Allen key for using on the connectors as I mentioned earlier. The first black box gives us a sheet with 4 circular foam pads on it. At first you could see them as feet for a radiator, which in all fairness you could certainly use it for that purpose, but what they are actually functioned for are the spare port covers that you see here. The last box gives you the most important parts, and that's the mounting screws. Alphacool has given us plenty of options here too, as we have 8 30mm M3 screws and 8 35mm M3 screws, which are designed for slim fans or standard size fans. A very handy little point to notice here is that the screws only have the last 4 or 5mm threaded. The rest of the shaft is untouched. This means that when fixing it to a radiator, there is no chance of accidentally driving the screw in too far and puncturing the radiator grills. Again, another interesting little attention to detail that is very welcome. The 8 6mm M3 screws are used for mounting a whole unit to a case or alternatively holding a reservoir to the unit. They even include an Allen key to screw all these in. The positioning of a fan mount is well spaced and allows for a whole plethora of different fans of different sizes to be fitted without any issues of obstruction or conflict. That pretty much wraps up this unboxing and overview of the Alphacool Eisbecher Pro XT45 240mm full copper radiator. Yet another fantastic offering from the premium ice range, with modification options galore, fantastic performance and a solidly built unit too. I will be doing benchmarks and performance reviews once the unit is in place in my system, so be sure to subscribe to check that out in the future. A huge thank you to Alphacool for sending the unit over, and stay tuned for much more Alphacool product unboxings coming very shortly and a giveaway or two. I will leave links in the description below to the aquatuning website and also the ModMyMods site where you can order your own XT45 Pro. And that's pretty much it, so until next time, it's goodbye for now.